Walter Mitty carefully records his expenses before opening the dating site eHarmony. He finds the profile of his office crush, Cheryl Melhoff, and tries to send her a wink, but he can't. He heads to work and calls eHarmony customer service while waiting for the train.
How can I help you today?
Hi, I can't seem to leave a wink.
He reaches an assistant named Todd, who explains he can't leave a wink because the "been there, done that" section on his profile is blank. During the call, he gets distracted and imagines bravely saving Cheryl's dog from a fire. He misses the train and tells Todd that he's zoned out, but will call again.
Odessa, what are you doing here?
Odessa, his sister, surprises him with a birthday cake in the foyer of his office building. He's upset she's not helping their mother move houses and makes her agree to do so. He finds out that their magazine, Life, has been bought by a big company and meets Ted Hendricks, the man who's been brought in to manage the company changes. Ted's a jerk and teases Walter,
Looks good in a beard? Dumbledore, not you.
who imagines cleverly insulting Ted, but in reality is zoned out and embarrasses himself. He gets coffee and listens in on Cheryl's conversation with a friend. He imagines being an Arctic explorer who impresses her. Ted throws a paperclip at Walter and laughs. He's annoyed, but quietly goes down to the basement floor, where he manages the negative prints that photographers send in for the magazine. He finds a roll of film from Sean O'Connor, the famous photographer. He sent Walter an engraved wallet and mentions that negative 25 is the quintessence of life and a favorite. The negative is missing, but he must attend a staff meeting before he can find it. They're told this month will be their last issue, and many people will be let go because the company is going digital. Sean suggests negative 25 for the cover, so Ted asks for it, and Walter lies, saying it's being processed.
It's being processed.
All right.
He gathers up courage and speaks to Cheryl, who's in charge of sending Sean payments. There's no listed address, but she asks around the office. He was looking at other pictures Sean sent, and they used these to figure out where Sean might be. There's a picture of a ring on someone's finger, a Scandinavian fishing boat, and a strange wooden shape. Later, he sees his sister again, and she gives him a Stretch Armstrong doll as a birthday gift. He appreciates the gesture, and they help their mother with packing. Odessa finds Walter's old backpack that he was going to use to travel across Europe. His mother also saved the travel journal his father gave him before he passed away. They look at an old newspaper article about Walter winning a skateboard competition as a teenager.
Jelly Man Toys! Get off it! No, I'm taking it!
He goes back to work and runs into Ted, who makes fun of him for holding a toy. He imagines himself in a grand fight and high-speed chase with Ted as they fight for Stretch Armstrong. He comes back to the present because Ted is tapping his forehead and rudely tells Walter to get him the picture Sean recommended. Todd calls him and tries to help fill out his eHarmony profile. They talk a bit about Cheryl, but she walks towards him and he hangs up. She asks him to walk with her to the park as they try to figure out where Sean is. He reveals that he's been working with Sean for 16 years, but they've never actually met. She worries about losing her job, and they talk about her son, Jeremy. She makes some calls and misses seeing him show Jeremy cool skateboard tricks. She gets off the phone and says that Sean is possibly in Greenland. She suggests he follows the lead, but he doesn't hear the rest as he imagines the two of them falling in love and growing old together. He comes back to his senses because Cheryl's calling him. She asks where he goes when he disappears into his thoughts, but can't stay to talk. At work, Ted threatens his job, so he decides to go to Greenland. He doesn't pack bags and runs to the airport with his suitcase to book the next flight. He hires a car when he arrives and drives to the last town Sean supposedly visited. The small bar has a few customers and a man drunkenly singing karaoke.
Could someone receive mail here?
He asks the bartender if anyone collected mail from there and is told that mail is flown in by helicopter. He's trying to find out more when the drunk karaoke man tries to get him to sing. He doesn't want to, so the man becomes violent. He's about to smash Walter's head with a bottle when Walter recognizes the ring on the man's finger from a picture Sean took. The man is a helicopter pilot and invites Walter to join him as he drops off mail at the same boat where he dropped off Sean. The pilot is drunk and the weather is bad, so Walter refuses. He imagines Cheryl singing to him in the bar and finds the courage to run after the helicopter and jump on just in time. He's amazed at how spontaneous he's been. There's no place for the helicopter to land, so Walter must jump out with mail for the boat. The pilot is terrible at explaining things and forgets to tell Walter where to jump, so he lands in the water.
No!
The sailors are preparing to fetch him when a shark attacks him. He manages to hit it with his briefcase and is rescued just in time. He's given warm clothes and some cake that Sean gave one of the sailors. The cake is wrapped in paper on which a photography schedule is scribbled. He discovers that Sean is going to be in Iceland the following day, which is where the boat will land in the morning. They land, and he manages to get a hold of the only available shore bike. As he cycles through the Icelandic countryside, he gets a call from Todd,
Yeah, what's up, man?
Not much.
who's impressed by Walter's latest adventure. He sees a flock of birds and imagines them forming Cheryl's face. He's distracted and crashes his bike, so he runs to the nearest hotel. He speaks to some teens on skateboards and trades his Stretch Armstrong doll for a longboard. The teens are called away by their parents. Everyone seems to be in a rush, but he insists on heading towards the volcano where Sean will be. He uses the skateboard to travel there faster, but no one is in the town next to the volcano.
What's going on? Where is everybody?
Eldgos! Kom eldgos!
Eldgos, yo!
The hotel manager pulls up just in time to say there's going to be an eruption. Right before they leave, Walter sees Sean fly past on an aeroplane headed towards the exploding ash. They escape, and he thanks the hotel manager for coming back to save him. He sits in a Papa John's fast food restaurant and carefully records his latest expenses. He's uncomfortable being in the restaurant, leaves, and calls Cheryl. He tells her he went to Greenland and Iceland and ended up at Papa John's. He gives her the latest clues from the wrapper Sean used for the cake. The clues don't add up, and she apologizes. She asks why he left the restaurant. He explains he was an adventurous teen with a mohawk, but when he was 17, his dad died. They didn't have savings, so he had to get a job at the nearby Papa John's to support his mom and sister. They share a special moment, and he has to hang up. He arrives back at work to find many people have been let go from the company. Ted sees him and gets angry that Walter doesn't have -25, so he fires him. Walter stands up for himself, but it doesn't change anything. He goes to Cheryl's house to drop off the longboard he got in Iceland. Her ex-husband answers the door, and it seems like they're back together. He's disappointed and leaves the skateboard as a gift for Jeremy. He takes a cab home and imagines himself being interviewed on a talk show where he discusses the fact that Cheryl is with someone else.
You know what? Where there's smoke, there's fire.
You're awesome, Walter.
He gets upset and brings himself out of the imagined world. At his mother's new home, he's disappointed and throws away the wallet Sean gave him. Suddenly, he realizes that the strange wooden shape in one of Sean's latest pictures is of his mother's piano. He asks her about it,
Understood life. He was really interested in your work.
and she reveals that Sean visited her to find out more about Walter. He asks why she didn't tell him, and it turns out she did, but he was lost in his imagination. He tells him that he got fired because he lost a picture Sean sent. His mother gives Walter a final clue to the puzzle, and he figures out Sean is in ungoverned Afghanistan looking for snow leopards in the Himalayas. His mother tells him that they can't fire Walter because he's Sean's partner, and Sean told her Walter was the person who worked the hardest to make sure his dream was realized. She encourages him to finish what he started. He takes his old backpack and travel diary and meets with guides who take him into ungoverned Afghanistan. He gives some warlords his mother's cake, and they let him pass. It takes him a long time to get where Sean is, and his guides leave him to finish the journey alone. He's high up in the Himalayas.
Oh, I love it. Wait a minute, that is a kick-ass bend there.
Todd, I'm gonna keep this short.
When he gets a call from Todd. His profile is complete, but Cheryl deleted her account. He's delighted to learn that Walter's hiking the Himalayas. He asks Todd to delete his account and hangs up when he finds Sean.
Here.
Do you mind?
And this is
I'm working.
this is one of the best profiles I've ever done.
Sean's shocked to see Walter there and has him sit down. He's trying to take a picture of a snow leopard, nicknamed a ghost cat, so they both need to sit still. Walter reveals he's been looking for Sean because of the missing negative. He says that the negative was in the wallet he gave Walter. He's annoyed that Sean carelessly gave him such a precious image. Sean apologizes and is hurt that Walter threw the wallet away. He realizes Walter doesn't know what the photograph is and says it's a shame. The snow leopard shows itself on the mountainside across from them, but he doesn't take a picture of it because sometimes he likes to keep a moment for himself instead of capturing it on film. The leopard leaves, and Walter asks what the image is. Sean calls it a ghost cat, and they join some men playing football in the distance. Walter is questioned at the airport because he went to Afghanistan despite a travel ban on it. They don't believe he's Walter Mitty and need someone to verify his identity. They're in Los Angeles, so he gets the idea to call Todd, who picks him up. And they have some food as they talk about Cheryl and Walter's daydreaming. He's been experiencing less daydreaming lately. They continue talking and laughing together. They sell the piano, and he apologizes to his mother for failing to look after them. She tells him they're all adults, and they hug before she surprises him by showing she saved the wallet Sean gave him. He shows up at the Life offices and walks into an executive meeting. Ted is rude once again, and he hands over the missing -25. He tells him that Ted is doing his job, but doesn't have to be such a dick. Walter updates his CV as he looks for new jobs and can add everything he did in his quest to find Sean. He gets an email from Cheryl thanking him for Jeremy's gift.
Walter Mitty, severance package.
Time passes, and he runs into Cheryl when he picks up his severance package. She thanks him again for the gift, and he tells her about his daydreaming. He admits that he imagined her singing to him at the bar in Greenland, which gave him the courage to get on the helicopter and ultimately find Sean. She asks why he stopped talking to her. He explains the encounter with her ex-husband, and she says that he was only there to fix something.
Do you want to go with me?
Yeah.
He invites her on a date, and she happily agrees. They walk together and see that the image Sean wanted on the cover was of Walter sitting by a fountain and looking at negatives. They smile, hold hands, and keep walking.